This is ACS P6 2023 weighted assessment 1, or the topical test on algebra, fractions and percentage. Let's look at question 1, section A. In section A, right, no calculators are allowed. Okay, so for question 1, which of the following expressions has the same value as 5/8 divided by 4? So what we apply in this question would be your keep, change, flip. Okay, your KCF. In short, KCF is keep, change, and flip. Okay, how do we apply this? So we apply this when we are dividing fractions. So you have a fraction here, you want to divide by 4. So the first thing we should keep is 5/8. Then we change the divide 2 times, and we flip this 4 whole. 4 whole is actually 4/1. So when you flip it, it becomes 1/4. Okay, so it's the same as option 1. So that's the answer. Question 2, simplify the expression. So 6x plus 8 minus 4x plus 7 plus x. Now we're going to shift all the x to the front. So we have 6x minus 4x. Now remember, the sign follows the number behind. Okay, you may want to do this if you want to avoid careless mistakes. So 6x minus 4x plus x plus 8 plus 7. So you want to work on the x together, then the numbers without the x together. So 6x, we go from left to right. Okay, 6x minus 4x is 2x, and then you plus 1 more x, that's 3x. Then plus 15. Okay, plus 8 plus 7 is plus 15. So what you shouldn't be doing is to take 4x plus x first. Okay, don't take 4x plus x first. You have to do 6x minus 4x first, left to right. Okay, with this, answer is option 3. Question 3, John had some money at first. He spent 1/5 of it on a pencil case and spent 5/12 of the remaining money on books. What fraction of his money had he left? Okay, I'm going to do a model. So because they said 5/12 of the remaining, right? I need to find out what is the remaining that's left. So the first thing I should do is I should take away 1/5 because that's what he spent first. Okay, so this is 1/5 spent on the pencil case. Then the remainder, now I know it's the 4 units left. And this 4 units, I have to take away 5/12. So what I do is I'll draw another model below. This time I'll split it into 12. And 5 units for books. And the rest will be on, okay, the rest is what's left. Okay, so I have 12 units here, and the top I have 4 units. They're supposed to be the same number of units. It's like the same length, right? So you have to change it to the same number of units, which is 12 units. I will have to write 3 units in each of the units in the first model so that I can get 12, which is same as the bottom. So for pencil case, I will also write in 3 units. So what fraction is left? The amount left to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units. And my total is 3 units times 5, a total of 15 units. The amount left is 7, so 7/15. Question 4. Susan bought a dress at a discount of 20%. She paid $300 for the dress. What was the original price of the dress before the discount? Okay, so this $300 is what she paid. It is what she bought after the discount. So this is 80%. Okay, so 80% is $300. We want to find the original price, which is 100%. So we're going to get from 80 to 100. You can find 1%, but I'm going to find 10%. So we divide by 8. And for this, you have to do your long division. Okay, let's do a quick long division over here. It's 356, and then there's a 4. You don't end off there. You introduce a decimal point, bring down the 0. Decimal point. This is a 5. Okay, so section A, no calculator. You have to do a long division. So we have $37.50. Original price, 100%. At this point, take note, you're not multiplying by 100. You're only multiplying by 10. Okay, that's if you have found 10%. If you found 1%, then you multiply by 100. So $37.50 times 10. $375 is the answer. So option 4. Question 5, Bowling Academy had 240 members last year. There are 300 members this year. What was the percentage increase in the number of members? Okay, so to find percentage increase, always use this formula. Increase over the original times 100%. Okay, so there are two things we need, increase and the original. What is the increase? It increased from 240 to 300. So we take 300 minus 240. Increase is 60. So what is the original? Is it 240 or 300? Original is the one you're comparing against, okay, the base of it. So if we are looking at an increase, then the original is the lower number, which is for last year. So 60 over 240 times 100%. Okay, no calculators, so you can cancel here. So you simplify the fraction, divide by 60. So a quarter times 100 is 25%. All right, so answer is 2. Okay, now let's look at section B. Section B, again, no calculators are allowed. Express 0.5% as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, if you have a percentage, and you want to convert it to decimals or fraction, right? We always divide by 100. Okay, example, how can you convert 50% to a fraction? You always divide by 100, right? So it's 50 over 100. Example. Okay, so if you have 0.5%, you want to change it to like a fraction, you divide by 100. Okay, so 0.5% equals 0.5 divided by 100. So when you leave it as a fraction, of course, you have to use whole numbers. So how do you get a whole number from 0.5? You can multiply by 2, because 0.5, when you multiply by 2, you get 1. So times 2, you'll get 1 over 200. Okay, that's the simplest form. Next, question 7. Find the value of 32 minus 2p over 5 plus 15 when p is 6. Okay, so when p is 6, this 2p becomes 2 times 6. Okay, it's not 26. It's 2 times 6. Okay, let's do the multiplication at the top first. So this is 32 minus 12 over 5. 32 minus 12 is 20. Oh, there's a plus 15. Okay, let's write this again. There's a plus 15 here. So 32 minus 12 over 5 plus 15. This will be 20 over 5 plus 15. Okay, 20 over 5 is 20 divided by 5, which is 4. 4 plus 15 is 19. So that's the answer, 19. Let's look at question 8. Aminda had 3/5 meters of ribbon. She cut 1/10 meter pieces to tie a present. How many pieces can she get? Okay, what does it mean by this? 1/10 meter pieces. It means that one piece of ribbon, right, is 1/10 meter long. Okay, this is one piece. One piece. Now, this is the 3/5 meters is the total length. So to find the number of pieces, you're supposed to take the total ribbon, divide by the length of every piece. So 3/5 divide by 1/10. Again, you want to apply a keep, change, flip. KCF. Keep this, change this, flip this. Okay, so we keep 3/5, change, divide to times, flip 1 over 10 to 10 over 1, then solve. Okay, so you multiply, you can simplify the top and bottom, divide by 5 here, divide by 5 here. So answer, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 over 1, which is just 6. Okay, so answer 6 pieces. Okay, now in the next section, section C, is where you can use the calculator. The use of calculators is allowed. Question 9, area of a rectangular plastic strip is 3/4 square meters. Its width is 1/8 meter. What is the perimeter of the rectangular plastic strip? Okay, so you have the area, you have the width, which is the breadth. How do you find the length? Area equals to length times breadth. So if you want to find the length, we take area divide by the breadth. Okay, so let's find the length. Area divide by the breadth. Again, KCF, keep, change, flip. We want to keep the first fraction, change the divide to times, and then flip the second fraction. You can use a calculator for this actually. Or if you can simplify this. This is 6. So the length of each plastic strip, this is 6 meters, and this is 1/8 meter. How do you find the perimeter? 2 times of 6 meters, 2 times of 1/8 meter. So 6 plus 6 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, which is 12, and 2/8. Give it in the simplest form, this is 12 and 1/4. Okay, so what 12 and 1/4 meters. Question 10. Ethan spent 60% of his money on a pair of pants. He used the rest of his money to buy a shirt. The pair of pants cost $38 more than the shirt. How much did he spend altogether? Okay, so he basically spent all his money, so that's 100%. 60% was for the pants, right? What about the rest of the money? He used it for the shirt. So the pair of pants is 60%. The rest of it on the shirt, so the shirt must be 40%. Now, if you compare these two items, the difference in price is $38. So let's find out how many percent is that. So I find the difference in percentage, which is 20%. then 20% must be $38. How much did he spend altogether? We're finding 100%. You can find 1% or you can find 100% straight away. From here, you multiply by 5. So the answer is $190. Question 11. The table below shows the amount each of the 4 girls paid for a birthday present. The birthday present cost $140, which 2 girls paid a total of 45% of the cost of the birthday present. Now, the birthday present is 100%, right? So let's find out what's 45% of $140. So to find out what's 45% of 140, you will take 45 over 100. So this is your 45% times $140. Okay, use your calculator. You can calculate using your calculator, and this will give us $63. Okay, so we need to find which 2 girls actually paid $63. So you have to trial and error for a bit, or you can look for, one tip is you can look for the numbers that gives you 3 in the ones place. So example, 7 and 5 will give you 12, so there's a 2 in the ones place, so no. Look at all these numbers, which 2 numbers combine to give you 3 in the ones place. Okay, so 6 here, 7 here. Now we check 27 and 36. You can do a mental calculation and you do get $63, right? 27 plus 36, $63. So the 2 people are Cindy and Dawn. Okay, these 2. Question 12. Susan and Daisy had a total of $180 after Susan spent 1/4 of her money and Daisy spent half of her money. They had an equal amount of money left. How much money did Susan have at first? There are a few ways of doing this question. You can do it before, change, after, or you can use ratio, or you can use equivalent proportion, since they said that they had equal amount of money left. Okay, so I'm going to show you equivalent proportion. So for equivalent proportion to work, right, you need to have a fraction of something equals to a fraction of the other thing. So in this question, this is equal. The amount of money left is equal. So what we are interested in is not this 1/4, because that's the amount spent. Okay, not this 1/4, not this half. We want to find out what is left. So if Susan spent 1/4, she would have 3/4 left. Okay, so I want 3/4 of Susan. This is equal to Daisy's half of her money. She spent half, she would have half left. Okay, so in equivalent proportion, this is like saying 3 units of Susan is equals to 1 unit of Daisy. We want to make the numerator the same. Okay, so numerator, I'll change it to common multiple, which is 3. So 3 over 4 of Susan is equals to 3 over 6 of Daisy. So now I can say like 3 units of Susan is actually equals to 3 units of Daisy. Then I can compare them now. So the denominator will actually give us the ratio of what they have at first. Okay, this is at first. Now they had a total of $180. That's at first. So 10 units, or we can simplify this. 2 to 3. So 5 units is 180. 1 unit is 36. Susan at first is this one, 2 units. So 2 times 36. This is the answer, $72. So if you had done it in another way, it's fine, okay, as long as you apply the methods correctly. You can do before, change after for this. You can also use ratio, and then you find your common base. Question 13. Aaron, Brandon, and Charles shared some marbles. Aaron and Charles received 58% of the marbles. Aaron had twice as many marbles as Charles. Aaron received 232 marbles. How many marbles were shared by the 3 children? Okay, I'm going to use ratio for this question. So first, 58%. What is 58%? That's what A and C received, right? So who received the rest? Brandon. Okay, B. So how do I write it? I'll write it this way. A plus C to B. So A and C, 58 units. B is the remaining 42. Your total is 100 units. Now let's simplify this first before we continue. So divide by 2, you get this. Then the next sentence, Aaron had twice as many as Charles. So Aaron to Charles, Aaron has twice of Charles, so 2 to 1. Then we have to find common base. Every time you have more than one set of ratio, you need to find common base. So what's the common base between these 2 ratios? It will be the total of A and C. Okay, it's a total of A and C. So I have to add this. Please don't write total over here, but just write A plus C. Because if you write total, it means that you're adding A, B, and C. Okay, but no, we're just adding A and C here. So this is 3 units. Now, your common base, you have to make it the same. 29, 3. Common multiple, 29 times 3. 3 times 29. Now, remember to change all the values in your ratio. Okay, so this is 87 times 3, this is 63. Then this is 87. Over here, we have 58 and 29. Back to the question, Aaron received 232 marbles. Aaron has 58 units. So 58 units must be 232. 1 unit, 232 divided by 58, which gives us 4. We're trying to find the total shared by the 3 children. So to find the total, I will add A plus C and B. So 87 plus 63 units. Now remember, don't assume that the total is 100 because we have 100 is for the first ratio, but we have changed the ratio since, right? So don't assume that the total is still 100. The total will also change. $150 units is what we want to find. So 150 times 4. Okay, so the total number of marbles is 600. Question 14. At a cycling competition, 3/5 of the cyclists were male, 3/4 of the male cyclists, and 96 female cyclists completed the competition. 1/4 of the cyclists did not complete the competition. How many more male than female cyclists completed the competition? Okay, so for this question, there's a few fractions. I'm going to use ratio. Because when there are a lot of fractions, can be a bit tricky. So you want to use fractions so that you can find common base and see how they all link. Okay, first, 3/5 of them were male. So I'm going to write male to female. Let me type it out. So male to female, 3/5 were male, so 3 for male and 2 for female. Okay, that's the first ratio. And then the second ratio, hold on, let's make this bigger. Three-quarter of the male cyclists completed the competition. So if we are talking about the male cyclists that completed the competition versus 3/4 of the male cyclists. So the 4 units is referring to the total number of male cyclists. So if I'm looking at did not complete, is right, did not, then the total will be the males. This will be male that completed 3, because it's 3/4, and then those that did not is 1, because it's 1/4, and the total males will be 4 units. Next, 1/4 of the cyclists did not complete the competition. Okay, so we are comparing those that completed and didn't complete. Okay, so completed to, it's just right, did not complete, did not. Okay. And 1/4 of them did not complete. So 3/4 completed. Those that completed 3 units. Those that didn't complete is 1 unit. Okay, so you should have all these fractions. These are from the questions. Now let us find common base. Okay, common base next. Now, what is the common base between, let's look at this. This male and female will give us, okay, so basically all the cyclists, you can either group them by gender, like male and female, or you can group them by those that completed the competition and those that did not. Okay, either way, the total is the same. So let's find the common base, which is the total. Here I have 4, here I have 5. So let's change it to 20. The total is the same. Here times 5, so 15. 5, 20. Okay, then the next thing I need to make the same, right, is this the total number of males, which is the 4 units here. Total number of males here is 12, so I'll change this to 12. So times 3. Okay, I'll just underline the common base so that I know I have made the common base the same already. All right, there's only one value given in the question, which is 96. 96 is the number of female cyclists that completed the competition. So I need to figure out how many units is that. Okay, so female cyclists, we don't have much information. The only thing we know is the total number of units for female cyclists. Okay, let's look at the male cyclists. Male cyclists, those that completed is 9 units. But the total that completed is 15 units. So if I were to take 15 minus 9, I would end up with the females that are completed. So 15. Minus 9, which is 6 units. So 6 units is 96. Okay, so 1 unit is 96 divided by 6, which is 16. Now, what do we want to find? How many more male and female cyclists completed the competition? Now, take note that we already have the female cyclists that completed the competition. So you just need to find the male cyclists that completed the competition. 9 units. So 9 times 16, which is 144. Now let's find the difference. So 144, the male that completed minus the females that completed. This will give us 48. Okay, so that's the answer, 48. So the thing to take note for this question is, if you're doing ratio, please make sure you find common base. Make sure that they are the same. Okay, next. Question 15. A highlighter costs Y cents and a pencil costs 45 cents less than a highlighter. What was the cost of 4 highlighters and a pencil? Express your answer in terms of Y. Okay, so for part A, a highlighter, 1 highlighter is Y cents, right? 1 pencil is Y cents minus 45 because it costs 45 cents less. So take note, we are using cents for this. 4 highlighters and 1 pencil. Okay, so 4 highlighters plus 1 pencil. Now you need to take the highlighter and times 4. So you end up with 4y. Then you add the 1 pencil, which is y minus 45. And this will give us 5y minus 45. Okay, so this is the answer. Remember to write your units. You're supposed to bracket the whole thing and write cents, not dollars, cents. So far, we've been working with all in cents. Now for B, each highlighter costs 120. Peter needed 30 cents more to buy 4 highlighters and a pencil. How much did Peter have? So 4 highlighters, 4 highlighters and a pencil. So we have actually basically already found 5y minus 45, right? And $1.20 is the cost of each highlighter, which means that it's the value of y. So in terms of cents, $1.20. So be careful, we have to convert it to cents because y is in cents. So y is equals to 120. I just need to find the cost of 4 highlighters and 1 pencil. 5 times y, which is 120, minus 45. 555. So this is still in cents. This is still in cents. I will now change to dollars. But we are supposed to find what Peter have, right? Peter needed 30 cents more in order to buy this. So do you think he has more than 555 cents or less? This is the cost of what he needs in order to buy 4 highlighters and 1 pencils. So if he doesn't have enough, then what he has is less than that. Okay, so now I change to dollars. $5.55 minus 30 cents. So $5.25 is the answer. So don't get tricked. Don't add 30 cents just because they said more. Okay, he's short of 30 cents, so you should minus. Okay, next question. Question 16. At a bookstore, 20% of the books are fiction, 35% of the remainder are non-fiction, and the rest are assessment books. There are 480 more assessment books than fiction. After selling 10% of the assessment books, what percentage of the books left are assessment books? Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. Okay, so first let's change all the percentages to fractions. So 20% is 1/5. 35%, which is 35 over 100. 7 over 20. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw a model. Okay, because here it says of the remainder. So I'll draw the model for 1/5 first. So 1/5 of them are fiction books. This is for fiction. Now I want 35% of the remainder. The remainder, I have 4 units, but I want 7 over 20 for that. So I'm going to split this. Usually I'll cut into units, but 20 is a bit much. So this is what I can do. 7U, 13 units. Okay. 7 units for non-fiction. And it's 7 units because I already converted 35% to 7 over 20. This is 13 because 20 minus 7 gives us 13. And this is for assessment books. Now, don't forget that if this is 20 units, I have to make this the same number of units because they are supposed to be equal, right? So if to make this 20 units, I have 5 each. 5, 10, 15, 20. So similarly for this unit here, I have to write down 5 units. Okay, so what I have next is 480. 480 more assessment books than fiction. So let's find out 480, how many units? Is the difference between A and F. So 13 minus 5U. Okay, so 13. So 8 units is 480. Since that is the difference. Then let's find 1 unit first before we figure out what to find. Okay, 1 unit is 60. What do you want to find? So we definitely want to find assessment books because we're supposed to find out what is this 10% of the assessment books that was being sold. Okay, so we want to find percentage of the books left that are assessment books. So 2 things we need here, assessment books in the end, and also the total in the end. Okay, let's look at assessment books first. Assessment books at first. A at first. A at first, 13 units. So 13 times 60. Then you are selling 10%, right? So let's find how much is sold. Because, okay, why can't we find 90% straight away? Because we need to find what is sold and then minus off from the total at first. Because we need to find what's the total left, right? So we need this figure. So 10% of 780, which is 78. Then let's find A left, assessment books left, which is the total at first minus what is sold. Now I have my assessment books in the end. That's half of what I need. The other half will be the total in the end. Let's find total at first. Which is 25 units. So 25 times 60. Then minus off what is being sold, which is 78. In order to find total in the end. Total after. One four two two. Now let's find the percentage. 702 over 1422 times 100%. Key in your calculator, you should get a long string of decimals. Now the question said, give your answer to the nearest whole number. So nearest whole number from this is 49%. So use the approximation sign, 49%. Okay, so this is a 5-mark question. Question 17. Mr. Tan sold 240 bags in February. Number of bags was 20% increase from what he sold in January. The number of bags sold in March was 15% decrease from what he sold in February. So part A was the total number of bags he sold from January to March. Okay. So first, let's break the question into 2 parts. We're going to highlight the first part, which is comparing February with January. See, there's a 20% increase from what he sold in January. Okay, let's look at this first. So for part A, if I have 20% increase from what he sold in January, right? This is the base we're comparing against. So January is actually 100%. Then we have 20% increase, which is referring to February's number. So February will be 120%. So February number is given, right? 240. So I can say that this 120% is 240. Use this to find January. Okay, so 1%. Which is 2, and then January is 100%. Which is 200. Now the next part of the question, number of bags sold in March was 15% decrease from what he sold in February. So this time February is 100%. Okay, we're comparing against February. So if February is 100% and March is a decrease of 15%, that means March is 85%. So again, 240 is given. But this time, 240 is 100%. So 100% is 240. 1% is 240. Divide by 100, which is 2.4. And then we want to find much, which is 85%. Okay, so we have January, we have March, and we have February, which is given. So part A, what's the total number of bags from January to March? Just add them all up. January, February 240, March 204. So the answer is 644. For part A. Now for part B, what's the percentage increase in the number of bags sold in March compared to January? So January is 200, March is 204. What is the increase? Increase will just be 204 minus 200, which is 4. Percentage increase, remember percentage increase is increase over original times 100%. Okay, need to remember this. We have the increase, what is the original? Original, when we're comparing these two numbers, the original is 200. But it says compared to January. So increase over original times 100%. This is 2%. So answer 2% increase. Okay, last question. Tina had some blue, red, and white beads in her container. 2/5 of the beads were red, 4/9 of the remaining beads were blue, and the rest were white. There were 105 more red than white beads. So part A, what fraction was blue? Give your answer in the simplest form. Okay, you see this of the remaining. We're going to draw a model, starting with 2/5. So I'll cut the 5. Two-fifths were red. Then you have the remaining. The remaining you're supposed to cut into 9 units. So I'll redraw a model. Then I'll cut into 9. Okay, 4/9 of them are blue, so blue will be 4 units. And the rest will be white. Since this part is 9 units, I will change this into 9 units as well. So 3 units each. And I need to indicate here 3 units each. So from here, and read off the model, what fraction of them were blue? Blue 4 units total, which is just the top model. 3U times 5. We have 15 units, so the answer will be 4/15. Okay, that's for part A. Now part B. How many beads did Tina have altogether? There are 105 more red than white. So we have to compare red versus white. White is 5 units. Red is 6 units as taken from the model. Then you compare, the difference is 1 unit. So 1 unit is 105. Altogether total 15 units. So we find 15 units to get the answer. Okay, so answer is 1,575. Okay, with that, that's all for the ACS primary paper. This is P6 2023 topical test.